No,
we
don't
had them
sound
back
the
then.
same.
Hit them 10 times harder. They'll see you in Governor. Bobby, you look like you could still play center field.
I'm still playing, Mel, softball.
Get up there, Sandy.
Batter up.
I don't got my glove.
He's got it in his hand. Frank, I got a fungal bat when Linda gets here. It's a lot easier.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
All right, how about yourself?
Good, Dave.
Nice to
Hey,
see
my
you.
brother wants to see you about a situation. When he threw you out of the friggin' game.
Oh, he saw you. Remember beating?
No, I got my arm kicked. I just had rotator cuff surgery.
I know you told me.
Yeah. It was bad.
All right.
I told my
I
therapist.
get.
Now you're talking.
All right.
This is the same glove, too.
I know what it is. Come on. You're coming out of the car.
Make me move too much, my knees might go.
His glove caught my no-hitter in American Legion Baseball, 1967. Wow. Hold on, David, I'm not done. Throw to your brother, I'm going to throw to you. Don't hit Jerry.
It's alcohol time.
There you go.
That's all she used to do.
We dedicated.
Carry my beers all the time.
Sandy, your thoughts about being at this event tonight? Reliving past glory.
Well, I tell you, it's quite a reminiscence. A lot of faces here that I haven't seen in a long time, and it's a great event to relive old memories about the baseball that we played back in the early 70s. And I see some people that I haven't seen in 50 years. It's heartwarming, that's for sure.
What do you think? Some of these guys, you think they can still play?
Well, yes, all you'd have to do is just ask them, and they could tell you that they can still play and run first to third with no problem. And I have to give a shout out to John Morgia and Frank Avalon for putting this together. It's really it's a great event.
Yeah, Steve, I saw you out there playing some catch. Looks like you guys can still deliver the baseball. Your thoughts about first off about playing a little catch out there?
Well, to be honest with you, Mel, it felt pretty good. But I don't know how it's going to feel come morning when I put my feet out of the bed.
What about being here for this reunion?
This is nice. I mean, it's an opportunity for a bunch of old guys to get together and reminisce, see people we haven't seen in 50 years, and like I say, reminisce about a few things. It's enjoyable.
Jerry, first off, being here for this event, this reunion, your thoughts about seeing all these guys again?
I think they all got awful old, awful quick.
You saw them playing catch out there. What did you think? Any of these guys still have game?
Glenn Woodrick can still throw the ball just as hard as he did back then. That's what he can, yeah.
Does this bring back memories for you, seeing these guys?
Fond memories, yes. That's what you live for. And quit.
Oh, go ahead, say it. Jeff Cole.
Who's he pick on?
Jeff Cole.
Yeah. Quit picking on Jeff Cole, will you? I have to change over to channel 550.
This has got to be, for you, helping to plan this event, this has got to be kind of a dream come true getting all these guys together. They all seem to be having a good time.
Yeah, the key was once we got this started, and like I think I told you before in another interview, when they heard my voice, Frank Avalone, Watertown Royals, and I got their reaction, I knew this night was going to be a success. And here we are. You've got it on film. You've seen us. We went out, we played catch, we did pepper. It's all a good thing. And now the stories will come, and the rest of the night will be fun because you will capture it all. And I greatly appreciate your assistance in all of this.
Yeah, I know.
Sean, your thoughts first off about a reunion like this, how special it is to see these guys again.
Oh, it's great, and it really is. We had some great players back then, the 71 team that I played on, and fortunately, many of them are here. And you know, it's really a lot of fun, and Frank Avalone did a great job putting this together, him and John Morgia and Bobby Morgia, and so it's great to reminisce and see some of the old faces and talk about baseball and what everybody's doing in life now. So it's been fun.
Sir, your thoughts about this event, about having a reunion, seeing everybody again?
It is great to be able to reunite with everybody you played with and manage with, and just it's amazing to see how many we have here and how much they have changed in a way. So it was a lot of fun playing with them and managing them.
How much fun did you have throwing the baseball again?
It's a great physical therapy for for this for this age group. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. My partner was too far away for though.
Rob, your thoughts about reminiscing again?
Well, Mel, I have to tell you, it's been a long time coming. So great to see these guys. You know, when they first started the Watertown Royals, we had tryouts. We had 60 guys show up. They kept the best 20, and fortunately I was one of them. And then they held some open spots for guys that were in college. And I have to tell you, the talent in the North Country in 70, 71, 72 was fantastic. We started slow, won the division. It was a tremendous time for all of us.
How was it to throw a ball again?
Well, I still stay active. I play in a over 65 softball league in Pennsylvania where I live, and surprisingly the team I play with is the Royals. Now, it was great throwing it today. I still can, but I might be sore tomorrow.
What sticks out to you when you think back to those days? What's the first thing you think of when you think of Watertown Royal baseball?
Well, I was younger then and had a lot more fun. I can't do it anymore. I know that.
But you're still happy to be here tonight. Still.
Oh yes.
Very good.
Weeks in a leg brace with stays so she can't bend the knee because the tissues in her butt and the tendons very.
I present to you the general manager, chief bottle washer, owner of the Watertown Royals, Mr. John Morja.
Thanks, Mel. That was very nice of you to say that about me. As president was John F. Johnson, and I don't know if you guys remember him. Vice president was Peter Gropico, who I used to umpire with, along with Kingsbury. And we were discussing that tonight. Secretary was Mal Decker, treasurer Phil Patnall. All these guys have passed on. Followed by the board of directors, which was myself, Tom Clary, Austin Bachman, and I think you're going to remember some of these names. Peter Relic, Jack Scordo, everybody knows Jack Scordo, George Amo, John Breen, Harold Cohen, Robert Ferrantino, Bill Stevenson, and Lauren Perrin. The only two members left are myself and Robert Ferrantino. Time goes on. Watertown was ready for baseball. There's no question about it. Like I said before, we were drawing good crowds. And they had to pay to get in. And that was unheard of when we first started. And every team adopted that after. So what did they do? It made us organized. And I think that's what the people wanted to see. Then we had to pick out a uniform. The first year they played, I don't know, some uniforms that Frank brought down. I don't know what they were, but they netted them out of flour sacks or something. But anyways, I was a big fan of the Watertown Royals uniform. And we met, we talked about it, and we decided that's the uniform we're going to go with. As a matter of fact, that gentleman sitting at the bar, wearing that white uniform, is the original uniform that he wore playing Watertown Royal baseball. As far as I know, that's the only uniform that's around. Because I think Frank did a lot of research and could not come up with anybody that had a uniform. And I think it was fantastic. Again, I don't think you guys realize what you've really accomplished through the years. I know Mel can get up here because I remember Mel walking from his house, and he used to live right down the street over here, to a baseball game as a little kid. Well, I don't know if he was little back then. He was high, I should say. I should say. But that's how he got interested in baseball, because of you people. The Watertown Royals were short-lived, as you know. Guys, we had 3 years. But the shortage of the players were not the reason why the Royals died out. It ended because many of you started new chapters of your life. Many of you started a new job, went off to college, or just simply moved away. And I think that's true because I got Adrian Messina here who came in from Arkansas, right? And some other players, there's plenty of players here that came in from out of the area to be a team tonight. Whatever the case may be, tonight is your night. And tonight you will have the banquet that you never had. You've already eaten part of it. The only difference is in this banquet, you got to pay for it. So that made it easy for us. Page 2. I only got 10 more pages. What happened tonight just didn't happen without my good friend Dave Trumbull. Everybody knows Dave. I'm going to tell you a little story. I've been calling him, I think for the last 55 years, to have something in his honor because of what he has achieved in baseball. And everybody knows. He would not come up here. Every time I call him, he said, no, I don't deserve it. Well, he does deserve it. But he didn't want to be in the spotlight. So I said, all right. I talked to Frankie quite a bit on the phone, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 times a day.
Yeah.
Am I right, Paula?
Absolutely.
Thank you. But that's how we're here tonight. And, you know, I want to thank Frank for what he's done. Dave, I made him pick the date that he could be here, because if he picked it, I know he'd be here. That was the only way I could get him here. I'd love to tell you a story about Dave Trumbull. He used to work for me. And we taught him how to drill a bowling ball. And I want to say something, and honestly, he ruined more bowling balls than he did not. But you know, we sold them. Eventually, trying several times, he got the holes drilled properly. But he was a great employee. And I'd hire him again today. He wants my pasta. He's unemployed right now. Then there was Frank Avalone. Who, like I said, who I was on the phone daily playing in this event with the help of my nephew, as the paper stated, but really, he's my cousin, Bob Morgan. I don't know where he got the idea that he was my nephew. Frank told you that. And I would like to say a very special thank you to Paula Avalone, who made all the decorations on your table, whatever she did over there, and wherever. You know, I had a meeting officially with the rest of the board of directors, which was myself because Robert's not here, and officially named you Mrs. Watertown Royals 2024. Are you kidding me? No, you have to thank me. Paula's been great to work with. I tell you, she, you know, it's amazing what she comes.
I can give you a hug.
Oh. She's been wonderful, I tell you. Every time I call Frank, she was listening. And if Frank said something that she didn't like, well, she corrected it. So I have to thank Paula. She's been wonderful to work with. She put a lot of time into all of the decorations that you're seeing. The only thing she didn't really do was the cake, and that came out nice. So all we did was set the lady the picture, and she did the rest. So, but like I say, you know, you're officially named Mrs. Watertown Royal 2024. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but enjoy tonight. But anyways, you know, I want to thank all of you guys for showing up tonight. It's been wonderful. Last night we had a little dinner with a few of his people. I never enjoyed an evening like I did last night. I never laughed so much as I did last night. Just reminiscent. It was a wonderful thing. And again, I want to thank Dave Trumbull. He's responsible for all of this. And Dave has turned out to be one of my best friends. Thank you.
And come to find out, Dave's not a horse fan. So we planned this banquet on Kentucky Derby Day. Thanks, Dave. That's okay, you saved me from losing a lot of money. You know, it's kind of interesting because I kind of feel like comedian Ray Canale tonight. You remember Ray, don't you? Because let's face it, I'm the opening act for this next gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Avallone.
Good evening, everybody. Finally. Here's the rest of the story that John didn't tell you. He told you about David, chasing David for a while. I knew David worked 11 months out of the year. I would call David. David would tell me exactly what John said. I called John. He said, no, we got to figure it out. Okay. So we did some arithmetic, Italian arithmetic, and in 2018, John calls me. We think we got a chance to pull David up here, but remember, 11 months out of the year up here, got that white stuff. He don't like it anymore. He lives in Florida. So anyways, real quick, I call the list of names that I have of the Watertown Royals, alphabetically, of course. First guy called Tom Ames. Tommy's in Pennsylvania. We talk a couple of minutes. He says to me, Frank, I've got something you'll be interested in. Tommy, what would that be? He sends me the original scorebook of the 1971 season, a scrapbook of all the Watertown Daily Times articles, and some miscellaneous things that are over on that table, the Indianapolis Clowns, and I'm going, tremendous. Look what I call up John, tell him what I got. 18 goes by, 19 goes by, 20 goes by. This thing called COVID comes around the corner. October 28th, North Country Sports Hall of Fame, David's being inducted. I called John, tell him I'm coming in from Ohio, you're my guest, you're sitting between my wife and myself. David finishes speaking. The Godfather leans over and says, Frank, we gotta do it now. I'm not getting any younger. If you didn't know, he turned 87 in January. Okay. We're in Carthage, New York. It's 562 miles to get back to Ohio. My wife and I, behind the windshield of the car, start clicking and thinking, what do we need to do? I got the names. She's got the talent. We merge all of the ideas. We get back, we make some notes. We start calling John. We're back and forth a lot between that time. I have a mother that's elderly, and we're giving her geriatric care at home, back and forth. We're here a lot. He did not exaggerate when we talk all the time. I don't think we talked past 10, I don't think we talked before 8, but we could have. So we get to that point in time, and I say, all right, we're going to start calling people. I started calling them, again, the people that I know, the Adrians, the Dons, David, Guy Brigabar, some of you out there that I already had contact with. And pretty much I know everybody because I have the list. I have the original list from Tommy Ames. I have the newspaper articles of all the people that wore the 71 uniform, the 72 uniform. And last but not least, 5 of us guys took off, went to Carthage. Gary Rosentowski decided we got a lot of talent in Carthage, let's go there. David, myself, Don went to Oneida, he married a lady named Ellen, if you haven't met her yet. And Tony Dumas, and who am I missing? Anyway, 5 of us go that way, and then the 73 crowd, the kids that graduated from Watertown High School, filled in. So now I gotta chase the 71 guys, and I'll call them the rookies, and the 73 guys, and I'm making my list, and I'm knocking them off. I get to about 16 guys off the list, bingo. December 22nd, next guy called Bob Morgan. I go, Bobby, I think I hit a wall. I got all these names in my head, but I don't know where in God's name I'm gonna find them. He says, Frank, I'll help you. I'm going to pause for a minute because at that point in time, he had a wife that was very ill. And he stepped up to give me a hand. And I deeply appreciate it. We teamed up together as, I don't know, Batman and Robin. We called ourselves every damn thing you could think of, I think. We talked a lot. I must have this Morgie connection on the phone. But Bobby and I were talking, again, almost morning, noon, and night. He went the internet way, I went the old-fashioned way. I literally knocked on doors. I went up to Harrisville, found Pete Benson, knock, Pete, Frank Avalone, Watertown Royals. Going back to what I said to a couple people earlier, if I could have captured the initial phone call to each and every one of you, it's in my head, I would say on the phone, Frank Avalone, Watertown Royals. I would hear the pause. I would hear the giggle. Joe Clancy laughing like, what, did I say something wrong? Chapo over there yelling, Frankie, Frankie, Frankie. I'm like, yeah, it's me. I'll make a confession. Somehow or other we saw a program, Rob Lalone. Bobby and I find him. He's in Ohio, like 90 miles from my home. Pick up the phone, Rob Lalone, Frank Avalone, Watertown Royals. Paul is my witness. Minute and a half, guy's not talking. I'm going, oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Finally, the voice says, Frank, I didn't play. I said, Rob, I got your name on a program. Frank, I didn't play. I think I went back to Sean Baker and Dave Gibo and Danny, all you 73 guys, and help me out. Rob didn't play. So we fast forward 49 ball players. We found, let's see if I get my math right here. We got 41 names. We still can't figure out where Glover and Bumgardner are, even though we went deep into the Finger Lakes to look for Glover and Rock Hill, South Carolina, look for Bumgardner. But the rest of you, we found. And for one moment of time, I'm going to walk over here, because in the initial interview that I had, I think, with Greg, I referred to the guys that aren't with us as the team in the higher league. So I'm going to read the lineup of that team that is playing in the higher league. And if you haven't seen this, please take a picture, because this is my wife's creation. And for all of you with nostalgia, see that brown border? Well, it's rectangular, but that's the dirt track at the fairgrounds. Okay. All right, so we have, again, when I'm finished with this, we'll take a moment of silence. The manager, Jim DeRocha. Third base coach, Sam Gerber. First base coach, Charlie Hunt. We technically don't have a catcher, but I'm going to move Chris Eisenhower, who I found an article the other day that actually played. Chris is no longer with us also. So right now, whether he likes it or not, Chris is going to catch for us. We have Billy Tremblay on the plate. First base, Jeff Wager. Second base is Gary Stiles. Billy Fulmer is at shortstop. Delouine is playing third. In the outfield, we have Dick Smith. Left field, Kenny Guyette. Center field, and the founder of the Watertown Royals, Billy Randall. To each and every one of them, if they're listening, not that any of us want to go up there and sit on the bench, but if they'll keep the bench open for us, someday when we're up there, we'll have the best damn team in heaven. So please, bow your heads in silence to our fallen teammates. Please take a picture. So as we close out the night, my portion of catching up to where we are today, I will say this to you. I want to apologize for all the text messages, phone calls, or emails I sent to you, but I still have some other memorabilia. If you're interested in anything else that might be around or that keep trickling into me, I'll definitely share it with you. We've got a link, and everybody should have received the newspaper, 2 articles, and the Babe Ruth Lou Gehrig picture courtesy of Bruce Eastman. And there's a family connection there. If I get this right, Bruce, your wife's father is in that picture? Okay, and your name was? Diane. So that's how that connection came about. Baseball reaches a lot of people, and we went all the way back to Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. That's pretty neat. The rest of what we've got over there, if you haven't taken a look at it, please do. Now, we've got a whole lot of handouts here, and we're going to try to move through the program with Mel's help. Everybody knows where to find me. You'll probably never call me again because I bothered the hell out of you. But the one thing we accomplished that took us 15, 20 years is we gathered the Watertown Royals of 71, 72, and 73, and here you are. Some people walked up to me and said, "Did I play?" And I said, "Your name is in the scorebook, or your name is in the newspaper, and I remember you. Yes, you played for the Watertown Royals." And then the connections would be made. And that's what counts. As everybody looks around the room and sees the faces, we kind of gave everybody a little help, but that's okay. Once that electricity came into the room, you could see it. I accomplished what I wanted. The most important thing, I think I said it in the beginning to Mel, we're gonna play catch and pepper. And we did, didn't we? All right. I will be back up here a little bit later, but right now I'm gonna turn it back over to Mel.
Excellent job. You put a lot of thought into this, a lot of work. Congratulations. And the reason why, out of all the, somebody asked me who was my favorite Watertown Royal of all time, and I always say Frank Avalone. Not because of his playing ability, because of his white shoes. Man, he dressed well, and still does to this day. We have presentation to make, and I'm going to call on Frank immediately to give us a hand in handing out some stuff. We're going to go through the roster of the first year's team, and then we will fill it in with the rest of the players that joined the team over the next couple of years. First off, the original Watertown Royals roster, the initial year. We begin with a pitcher from Camp Drum, Adrian Messina. Next up, and I'm going to name these, and if by some chance they're not here or have passed away, I apologize for that. A pitcher from Watertown, Joe Brett.
Joe's in Arizona. In a few minutes, he'll hopefully make a connection and he'll be talking to you. Go ahead.
Next up, a pitcher from Chameau, Bill Fulmer. Billy passed away. I hope I say this last name right. Ken Chago from Saggins Harbor.
Kenny will also be on the phone. Hopefully, about 3 weeks ago, he got a pacemaker. Medical people told him to stay away from this event for the evening.
Very good. I know this man's here. It's from one of my favorite places, Governor. Joe Clancy, the knuckleballer. This next guy, a pitcher from Watertown, and when he signed my program. By the way, I have a program that I've been handing around. If the former players would sign it, that would be great. He says, listen, he says, make sure you tell them that I'm the best looking of the brothers. And I said, okay, I will. Ladies and gentlemen, a pitcher from Watertown, Guy Rigabar. Sorry, Guy. I didn't mean to hang you out like that. A great gentleman who, by the way, you talk about athletes, he ran track and also played baseball in the same season in high school, which I find pretty tremendous. Bruce Eastman from Belleville. My favorite name of all time, because he was from Camp Drum. And wow, what a great name. Guadalupe Chapa. Now the next guy on the list. Never heard of him after playing for the Royals. Whatever happened to the guy? From Carthage, David Tremblay.
Thanks, John.
A man of few words, Frank Avalone from Carthage. First baseman for Watertown, Tom Ames.
Tommy's in Pennsylvania, won't be able to make it. Unfortunately, he has a bad health condition. We might be able to get him on the phone tonight. He wants to say a couple words.
This next gentleman, as good as he was a baseball player, a lot of people don't realize this, he was a better street hockey player. Lenny Speziani.
Hey, I'm going to stand over there with you.
You're so tall, David.
I got protection now, baby. You just want to feel tall.
They call him Mr. Baseball Card. Third baseman from Carthage, Gary Rozentowski. This next gentleman I'll mention, as Frank mentioned, he had passed away. He's a Hall of Famer in softball, in the National Softball Hall of Fame. Pretty great, Del Lewine. He was tremendous. This next brother came up to me and said, listen, said, make my brother feel good and tell him that he's the best looking of the brothers. I said, okay, it'll make him feel good. Don Rigobar. From Adams, a shortstop, Dave Ellis. And of course, his name was mentioned earlier, outfielder for Watertown, Bill Randall. Hi, David. Not only is this next guy John's cousin, but he's also John's nephew, which tells you a little something about the Flats. Bobby Morja. Outfielder from Watertown, Ted Denning. And by the way, can I take this opportunity, while you're handing out things, I've got a working agreement with our assemblyman who happens to have walked through the room tonight. Hi there, Scott. Scott Gray, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why every time I'm emceeing a function, if I mention Scott Gray's name and Gray Flowers, my wife gets flowers sent to her. So if I could take care of a little bit of business, Scott Gray, Scott Gray, Scott Gray, Gray's Flowers, Gray's Flowers, Gray's Flowers. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And you donated the flowers, Scott? So let me get this straight. John didn't actually pay for her flowers, is what you're telling me? Oh, not those. Okay. All right. Just checking. Not sure. Oh, you got the receipt there. All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Fromm. Where's Jerry? Hi, Jerry. From Teresa. Mr. Fromm. Thank you. Sorry. I make mistakes of names every night at 6, 10, and 11. Alrighty, now, every time and we're going to go into other years, every time I've seen this gentleman, I always say, you are the best third baseman I've ever seen play in baseball. That's a lot of years of watching. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to see him once again. Jerry Gardner is with us tonight. Up next, man, longtime athletic director, classy gentleman, Sandy Overton. Classy, Freddie Blassie.
Classy guy.
Give him some class.
Oh, come on, classy. All right.
Alrighty, I lost a bet. John said you couldn't make the whole line.
That's classy.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. By the name, his first name is really Ralph. A lot of people don't realize. That's classy, too. If Frank's my favorite player, this gentleman happens to be my second favorite player. And if for no other reason, then he's wearing his original uniform tonight that he wore 52 years ago. Charlie McCarger. Charlie, come on out. Huh? Left-handed pitcher. Am I right? Left-handed pitcher writes with his right hand, bats left. Am I missing anything? You bat right. All righty. Thank you. Throws left. I got that part right. Nice to have you with us, Charlie. Glenn Widrick. Hi, Glenn. Bill Faringo. Billy. Great Little League baseball coach, too. He coached me when I was playing Little League. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong Mel. Walt Benny. By the way, the next one, a man who looks the same as he did 50 years ago. It's amazing. Ken Grant. Kenny Grant. A man who I had the chance to take a trip with last summer. Just him and I. Sean Baker. Danny Hunt. Hello, Danny. Al Raymond. Eisenhower. Preston Chapman. Hi, Preston. Thanks for being with us tonight. Also, Robert Kingsbury. Steve Eisenhower. And can I introduce this other person too, because he'll be upset if I don't. Plus he said I could have free Italian bread if I did. Okay, so, no. The bat boy of the Watertown Royals, Mark Altieri. Who, by the way, won a world championship in handball last year, believe it or not. Alrighty, did I miss anybody? Shouldn't be a player out there? Excellent. Alrighty. We have other mementos. By all means.
You know, back in the 3 years that they played, we never had a banquet, so they never received a trophy or anything. And they even stole the damn uniforms. Except them. I know them. But tonight, because you didn't receive a trophy or anything, we got something else for you. And this little creation that we come up with is, thank you, David, or should I say Paula? Yeah, both of you. Both of you together. And I think you're going to enjoy this. Take one out. We don't need these things around. This is a mug out of the end of a baseball bat. It's got on there Watertown Royals, 71 through 73. They're beautiful. And each one of you will receive one of these. I can't. Start down the end here.
Well, no, we want you to stay standing for a second because I think we're going to take a group picture of everybody.
Found this in the newspaper, and because of today, we got iPads and iPhones and YouTubers and whatever. You'll never forget us now because we're in the internet world. So I'm going to step aside and get in the picture.
No, Frank. People in the way. Yeah. I'll have Frank do it.
You're looking a lot younger. Let's go snip the picture.
Say baseball.
Oh my goodness, you know what? I just thought of something too. Before you guys break this up, thank goodness, would you do me a, oh, well, I gotta pick out a photographer. Excuse me, we ever met before? Could you come here? What's your name? Josh. Josh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us a Lawrence Welk, the 1 and the 2 and
Yep, I'll count you down. From the Royals, it's time for Bustler's Beauty. And do me a favor, cheer at the end. So, what's your name again?
Josh.
So Josh can videotape. You guys can move the camera back and forth, okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's time for Bustler's Beauty.
Just hold it so
Okay. In the original agenda, there's a part that says Frank Abalone, thank you. Well, this is the thank you. In deep appreciation of your establishment, assistance, support, and dedication to the Watertown Royals baseball organization. The 1971, 1972, and 1973 teams, thank you for the opportunity to play a game we all loved and enjoyed. Would you please stand up?
Congratulations, John. Thanks for knowing. No, you did. Thank you, John. Nice, all right.
I did what I did.
Yes, you can sit now. And those of you who are sitting, all right, can I have your attention, please? We're not actually done. We've got some teammates who are in Arizona, Pennsylvania, and New York who are going to, they want to say hello for a couple.
Thank God you didn't drill these things out.
All right, stand by if you have technical difficulties. Tommy, I'm going to put you on the phone with former teammates and Watertown Royals from 1972 and 1973. Go ahead and talk.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Yep.
Good evening, fellow Royals.
Yeah.
I was part
Go ahead. Sorry.
grateful for. So I tried out the
Dark up there.
tester.
It's a little dark up there.
I made the Christmas muster. I went to the staging fairgrounds, put the pin up, field, had it once, talk on a hat, Sam, and Frank came up by 4, David Tremblay. And the score for the whole here, I was in the fairgrounds on May 1971, and 51st. My this Grand Pennsylvania, where I've been with my wife 55 years. We have 4 kids, 10 kids, and I've been umpiring and refereeing for 54 years. Wow. I had a great time. Sorry I couldn't make it. I'm medically unable to travel. Did a hell of a job.
All right, Tommy, hold on, I got some feedback. All right, gentlemen, ladies, Tommy Ames, 1971 Watertown Royals. That was for you, Tommy. I'll be in touch, buddy. Thanks for. All right, take care. You're welcome, Tommy. All right, we're calling Arizona, Joe Brett. I asked Joe for 90 seconds or 2 minutes, so hang on. Joe Brett. I am introducing you to the 1971, 72, and 73 Watertown Royals. It's your turn to speak. Go ahead. You're on it.
Wow, what do you want to ask me?
I'm not asking, you're talking. Go ahead.
I'm talking, well, I just want to say salute everybody and thanks for hanging out there. The best time, I was just back from Vietnam, and back in Watertown, New York, and playing for the Watertown Royals was actually, you know, the great feeling of being home again. So my few months with the team were just absolutely terrific in every way, and I want to thank everybody for making it possible.
Joe Brett, that's the end?
I don't know what to still say, you know. I love it. I just don't know who's there, or is that Lenny Spaziani? Is he hanging out in the corner somewhere?
He is actually, you got that right. He's in the corner by the men's room. All right, so hold on. I'm going to give you the picture. We have Jerry Gardner present. We have Charlie McCarter. He is at the bar.
Come on, man.
We have David Tremblay. I can't find David right now, but he's somewhere in the building. He's in the bathroom.
David didn't think that was much of a picture, so that was probably his beginning of his great coaching career, right?
I got Don Ringenbar that said Terry Goodfellow said hello. You got more connections here than you know.
I know. Hey, Spud Gardner, man. How about the Spud man? He hit a single right between my legs when I was pitching at St. Bonaventure. And then he goes down to first base laughing at me and jumping up and down on first base, you know? My old soccer buddy, Jerry Spud Gardner.
All right, he's acknowledging you.
I know he's smiling there with Charlie. He's probably there with his old pal Charlie.
Well, they're about 20 yards apart, but they're in the room.
So then the only game I won for the Watertown Royals, Jerry Gardner gets a hit or drives in the winning run in the last inning. And he comes over to me and he says, I saved you, man. I got you your victory here, you know. So, Spud man, I thank you so much. If I didn't say thank you then, I'm saying it now.
All right, well, listen, that applause is for you, buddy. That applause is all for you. I got your address. We've got a couple of memorabilia things that I'll be sending your way. I'll let you know when it's coming.
I'll let you think one final comment. I was teaching at Case Junior High School at the time, and I was dating a teacher there. Her name was Miss Fox, Margaret Fox, and we were dating, and I brought her one time. I was teaching at Case Junior, and she was at Nick, and I was living over, of course, on famous Bread Street, right? So I brought her on the way home one day, I bought her a Puffs ice cream, and brought it into her class, you know, at Knickerbocker. And years later on Facebook, a student said, hey, wow, you know, I remember the day that Joe Brett came over with ice cream, giving it to Miss Fox, and, you know, I was just amazed and I wanted to cheer out because he was a pitcher for the Watertown Royals. Come on, man, how about that?
All good, Joe. All right.
I love my hometown, I love everything about it, and all my time and friends, and thank you so much, and I wish I was there, you know, but thank you so much, everybody.
You were here, Joe. You talked to everybody. You take care. I'll be in touch.
Roger that. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, everybody.
Adios. All right, next up is Kenny Chigo. Kenny just went through a pacemaker operation, so let's see you.
Hey, Frank.
Kenny, you're speaking live in front of former teammates and fellow North Country people. The floor is yours.
Well, I thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say, I'd like to thank Frankie Avalone and John Morgan and Bobby Morgan for getting this thing kicked off. I hope everybody's certainly enjoying themselves tonight. I would say by the lateness of this call that everybody's having a good time. I was hoping with all, really wanted to come and see everybody. Unfortunately, the health issues stopped me back, but Frank assured me that I would be able to at least say a few things. To go back 53 years is a long ways to go back, but I remember nothing but good times. And this get-together has sparked enough interest that I'm carrying a lot of these memories to my family and my grandchildren. So, again, thanks to Frankie and Bob and John. I really appreciate everything you guys did to get this together, and I would give anything right now to be there with you guys. So, memories I'll have my entire life. So at this point, I want to say thank you to everybody.
Kenny, that applause is for you. I told you I have your address. We've got some memorabilia. Once I get it mailed, I'll tell you when it's coming, and we'll talk again soon.
I appreciate that, Frank, very much. Again, best wishes to everybody, and again, thank you for this opportunity. I wish I was there.
Get healthy in a hurry, buddy. We'll talk again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Going to Pennsylvania for Don Shaw. Don't fail me now, come on.
Welcome to our voicemail. You've reached the mailbox of 2127. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, press pound or simply hang up.
Donnie Shock, you were supposed to be in the on-deck circle. I'm going to call you back in a minute after Sylvia talks. Last but not least, Jack Sylvia. By the way, he bet 6, 7, and 13 in the Kentucky Derby. He didn't win.
Hello?
Jack Sylvia.
Hey, how you guys doing there?
We're doing well. You're going to address teammates from the Watertown Royals in 1971, 72, and 73. The floor is yours.
Oh, hello, fellas. Donnie Rigabar, I miss you. How are you?
I miss you too, Jack. Hello, bro. He doesn't miss you.
Is retirement treating him well?
Here, I'll let you tell him. Retirement treating you well?
Hey Jack, it's been really good, man. I miss you. Go ahead.
How you doing?
Life's good. I spend my good part of the winter in Florida playing golf. My handicap's 25. My wife's is better. And her name is Ellen, and we have a great time. Now we're here in the summer to watch our grandkids, and this is a great crowd. We have a lot of fun. And we're in Naples, but I just wish our good buddy Dickie was here with us, but he's having a better time in heaven.
Oh, I know it. I wish he was around too.
Yep. So I'm going to give you back to Frank, because these people don't want to hear me, they want to hear you.
Oh, no, I wish I was there to meet half of you guys there. I haven't seen you in, 40 years?
Do the math, Jack. 50.
Okay. But hopefully everything went well today and you guys had a great time.
We did. With the help of the internet and some sophistication, you're hopefully going to be a link to a video that was taken. We've got some memorabilia. I got your address that we'll forward information to.
Oh, good.
If there's anybody in particular you want to keep in touch with, of course, I've got everybody's phone number and addresses or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll give you a buzz, or I'll just text you or something like that. Well, again, I wish I was there.
Well, we're thinking about you. And right now, you actually batted out of order. Shockey didn't answer his phone call, so I'm going to try him back again.
All righty. Well, thank you for calling.
All right, everybody, Jack Sylvia. That's your applause. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye. One more time to Shockey. And we have, the floor will be open if anybody wants to come up here, and we got that cameraman until 9 o'clock, and he's going to film whatever you want to say. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. Because we're only going to do this one more time in 50 years.
Welcome to our voicemail system. You have reached the mailbox of 2127. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, press pound or simply hang up.
Don Shockey just struck out for the night. Sorry about that. Call me back. Charlie McCarter, don't leave yet until everybody gives you a standing ovation. Get back here for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, number 4, 1971, 72, and 73, Charles McCarter. All right, before Mel, you want to announce the closing prayer, and I'm going to turn this thing back over to you. We have one piece left in the house. We have one left to do the closing prayer, all right.
Sorry, I was getting this for Father.
Yeah,
Lord, we thank you for the relationships that you forge in our lives, and we ask for your continued blessing as we make our way home, and help us to appreciate the past as we learn to appreciate the gift that we are to one another. Amen.
Thank you, Father, just the way I wrote it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're opening it up to the floor. Anybody want to say anything? Now's your chance to talk. Excuse me, classy Sandy Overton. You want to make your way up here? Thank you, sir. This will be quick. I have a couple stories. It's too bad Charlie just left. I don't know whether this is an urban legend or not. I went to a baseball game ready to play. I asked where Charlie McCarter was, and the response was, he just got arrested. And I said, how did that happen? He got his name in the paper with his picture with the Watertown Royals. Somebody spotted it up from Port Glyden, called the police. Police came down, had him arrested. That's Charlie McCarter. Now, it is. This is an urban legend. Do you remember going to Kingston and playing the Kingston Ponies? There was no worse lighting except for maybe at the Watertown Fairgrounds. I hold the distinction of all of the Royals. I was the only person that ever got called Pyorrhea Mouth. And I got called Pyorrhea Mouth in Kingston, Ontario. What an honor. That's all I got to say. Thank you. See, as a young kid, when I heard that Charlie got released, I thought John had gotten rid of him off the team. I didn't know it had anything to do with jail. Okay, anybody else want to talk? Dave. Where's Dave? There's Dave.
kitchen.
No, he just
Where's Dave?
caught the plane home.
Are you still here?
There he is.
You're being requested to come up here. By the way, it's from Krista Hanukkah, so I don't know how seriously you want to take it. But he's making it. Yeah, we're doing requests tonight. Anybody else want to hear somebody speak? Just say out a name.
There's a whole lot of you that told me stories, and don't be bashful.
Okay, it's getting time for all of us to about ready to go home. You know? I'm getting to the point, I don't know about all you guys, but if I stay up this late to watch those late games on the West Coast at 10 o'clock, I got to take a nap during the day, you know, so I can stay up that long. But just a thank you to everybody. I want to thank this table over here. Those are all guys from Carthage. That, you know, I grew up in Carthage, and growing up in Carthage, we had about 2,000 people then. I went to a real small school. Scott Gray was my neighbor. I lived on South Clinton Street. Scott Gray was on South James Street. We could see each other from our backyards and his front yard. And he was nice enough. I came up here in October, and he came playing for the Watertown Royals for me, growing up in Carthage at the time. And Glenn Windrick can attest to this, because Glenn was from Lowville. Glenn and I coming from Lowville and Carthage and coming to Watertown was like going to the big city. But I just want to thank everybody, what John did and Frank did, and to be really honest with you, you know, they tried to do this a long time ago, and I refused, because a lot of nice things have happened in my life, and I didn't want to come up here and make this about what I did, because what the people that I played with on the Watertown Royals, they did for me. So I wanted to do something that if I came up here, I wanted to be about the team. I did not want it to be about one person. I can go right down the line. I mean, there are guys in this room, and I'll be very, very, very honest with you. There are guys in this room that I was the youngest guy, along with Glenn, on that team, and I was scared to death. I really was. I was scared to death, and I looked at Don Rigabar, Sandy Overton, Spags, okay, Jerry Gardner, Charlie, Steve Eisenhower. Those guys to me were guys that I kept my mouth shut and my eyes open, and I learned how to compete and how to take the game serious because of those guys, what they did for me. And I'm so appreciative of that. And this guy here, John Morgan, you know, I would come home after my first year, and I went to Brockport, and I would come home, and we make fun of it and jokes and this and that. I didn't have any money. You know, I had to take out the college loans and do all that, and he ran the sporting goods store, and he always put me to work. He always gave me a job for 3 weeks, or Christmas vacation, or in the summer. And I was so scared, and John knew it. And I didn't know John Morger from Adam. And right after one of our first games, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I know you can play here. I know you can be a pretty good player." And from there, you know, a lot of nice things happened to me. But, you know, this guy here, Mel Bussler, and I failed to mention this when I was up here for the Hall of Fame induction. If there's anybody in this area who has done more for youth sports than Mel Bussler, I'll buy you dinner. This guy, what he's done for youth sports and for college athletics and everything, I mean, it's unheard of now to have people like this. So we appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Well, it's getting about that time. Charlie McCarter has left. My last story, you know, after the game, we played down at Fairgrounds, and after the games, the guys wanted to hang out. They'd go to a place called the Fifth Wheel. Okay? And Frank sent me a picture a week or so ago about the Fifth Wheel. And he said, well, this is where everybody hung out, is the Fifth Wheel. And, you know, it was a place where you go and have a few drinks after and this and that. And I texted Frank back and I said, Frank, I could never go in that place. I wasn't old enough. But what I did was, Charlie McCarter would wait for me out in the parking lot after the game, and he said, Davey, you just follow me, I'll get you in. And I think Jerry Gardner and I were the only two guys drinking Pepsi-Cola or Coke. Frank Avallone's been a friend for over 50 years. Don Rigobar has been one of my heroes. I mean that very, very honestly, growing up. All right? Sandy Overton could hit, flat out hit. And they mentioned about John Morzer going into the North Country Sports Hall of Fame. If there's anybody that deserves to go into the North Country Sports Hall of Fame, if I could make it, Don Rigobar and Sandy Overton should be the next two guys from this area that go. And I mean that very sincerely. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and it means a great deal for everybody to take the time to be here. Thank you.
Gotta give you a different number, hold tight. Don Chuck, Frank Avalone.
Hey Frank, how are you?
You are right now going to address teammates from the 1971, 72, and 73 Royals. The floor is yours.
Good evening, guys. First of all, I want to thank Frank and Bobby Borgia and everyone who worked to put this together. I think reunions and such like this to connect with former teammates are something special. A couple of thoughts is that I actually came to the Royals in 1972. I was recruited by Dick Smith, who was one of my teammates at Lemoyne College. He actually recruited Jack Sylvia and myself. The most important thing when I met with John Morgia was how impressed I was with the organization, and probably playing in the summer, probably the most fun I ever had was playing in front of the large crowds in Watertown and their passion for baseball and such. I mean, 72 was a very good year for me. I believe I led the league in hitting. The All-Star game that year was in Watertown, and I was fortunate enough to make that All-Star team. But probably the most important thing is, in memories, is that you don't come back together unless there's a connection between the team and that there's a genuine love for each other. And, you know, in my life, in my career, I played for a lot of teams, but as many of you know, if you played a lot of baseball, you don't always have that connection. You know, everybody on that team understood their role, and you know, I think you know, there was the love of the game by everyone, and you know, there was no ego, or there was no person on that team that was, for lack of a better term, the star. Everyone had a role, everyone had their day in the sun and contributed to that team. And in my life, it was probably one of the best summers that I ever had. So, I wish I could be there. Two of my twin grandkids are getting their first communion tomorrow, so I was unable to make it. But hopefully, there's another event in years to come. Again, these are really special things. My college team is having its reunion in about 6 weeks, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of stories, a lot of beer, and just great memories. So I love you guys, and enjoy the time together, and hopefully I'll see you again in the future.
Don, that was for you, well said. I've got your address, and as soon as we conclude here administratively, I'll be sending you some information and some of the memorabilia we talked about.
Alrighty, well thanks Frank, and thanks again for putting this together.
My pleasure, thank you. But we might vote whether we're gonna do this next year or another 50, but we'll let you know.
All righty, take care.
All right,
Have a good
bye-bye.
evening. Yeah, bye.
All right, since I've got the mic, I'm gonna continue to talk. I talked about the diamond that I picked up there from Tommy Ames way back when. And in the course of the conversations with people that I had, I call up Steve Eisenhower. But let me preface this. John says to me, I'm telling him all these things I'm getting. Frank, where's the team picture? Frank, where's the team picture? I'm going, Frank, where's the team? I don't know, I don't remember a team picture. Phone call to Steve. Steve, in that quiet voice. Frank, I might have something you're interested in. Frank goes, Steve, what would that be? I have the 1971 team picture. Okay, I found the crown jewel of the Watertown Royals. We finished talking. I called John. John goes, where the hell did you find that? I said, I just told you, Steve Eisenhower. So in the course of all the communication that we had, Bobby calls me up one day. He says, I found this guy named David Ionati. Where's David? All right. I say to myself, I don't know David Ionati. And he says, well, here's his number. So of course, what do? I dial it up. David and I start talking. David says to me, I've got an autographed baseball of the Watertown Royals. I go, what year? 1973. It's sitting over there if you haven't looked at it. I showed that to you guys in a text, but for God's sakes, go over there, touch it, look at it, because the names on there were the 73 guys. A couple 72s, and I think, Jerry, you're on there. I think Charlie's on there, because you guys are holding up. And Sandy, I believe you're there too. Then he says, I've got these other things that I've got in the steamer locker or whatever. I said, okay, find them, and you're going to be invited to the reunion. So he brought in the baseball circus. That was an original poster. It's all framed. He framed that for us. There's some pictures. There's also that wooden stick over there called a baseball bat. That he told me the bat boy, who's the bat boy again?
David Smith.
Okay, Preston Chapman's, where's Preston? Related to Preston, who was the bat boy in 73. The bat got handed to him. He's kept that bat for all these years. And he tells me over the phone, it was David Tremblay's. So what do? I pick up the phone and call David. David, I think I found a bat you used in 1972, because in 73 he played in Carthage. Either way, there's an MM on the handle. If you're a baseball fan, MM doesn't mean anything but two words, Mickey Mantle. And I said, that bat's coming, and it's sitting over there. Some of that other memorabilia, you can see the big picture. When I followed up to call Steve, and I said, okay, look, the picture, there's 15 of us that are going to be present tonight, and we got to make copies. So he did his magic, and all the copies that I handed out tonight to the original named roster of the Watertown Royals were the people in that picture. Now, there's 4 that were not present in the picture, but they all get pictures tonight, the 3 of them. Dick Smith was the other one that wasn't here, but Dick's on the memorial board. In all of the conversations that I had with you guys, I know there's more stories. I'm 75. I'm just getting into 3rd gear. I can't believe you guys are that tired after waiting for 53 years to do this. I'm going to ask you for at least a half an hour more of energy. Please, because we waited for a long time. And in the article that I had in the paper, if you read it, Greg asked me when we'd be doing this again. I said, well, we can take a vote. I can do it again next year. We wait 50 years. It don't matter. One way, shape, or other, we can do that. Now, the one thing I don't want to do is have the reunion in heaven too soon, so make sure everybody stays in touch. One last thing. On the wall up there is a Watertown Royals embroidered logo. Looks like the one that John has that's on the cake. I had that designed in Pickerington. I think there's 10,000 stitches in it. I'll bring it down here in a second, and it's going to lay it up here. If you come up and touch that stitching, it feels like a baseball. If you guys would be interested in wearing one of these, I haven't figured out the shirt. I'm trying to get David, who works for Victory Promotions, to get a blue collar and a blue border on the sleeve, similar to the Watertown Royals uniform that we used to wear. Seen Charlie walk around with. And I'm going to leave this up here, but you can come up here and put all your fingerprints on it. But when you run your fingers over that thing, that's a baseball. And it says Watertown Royals, 1971-73, which is us. And Shockey couldn't have put it in better words, and I'm not going to top that. So to all of you, thank you. I already gave him the thank you. To my wife, like I said, 562 miles and a windshield. Paula was a very helping hand. I will share this with you. Sometimes I'd get off the phone and I'd shake my head because I couldn't connect with Guy Rigabar with an internet or a text message or a phone call or somebody else or this or that, or the RSVPs didn't get through, or the invitations didn't make it. I'm saying, why the hell doesn't anybody look at their phone? I'm waiting for a phone call back. Well, I got the phone call back. I'll share one story with you. 1999, 2000, 2001. We're in Ohio. Our son's a baseball player in the high school program. And they said, we got to go raise money to go to the IMG Academy, baseball academy, sending them 2 teams, varsity JV. I said, okay, where are we going to get the money? They looked at me and said, well, you could raise it. I went down to the campus on Ohio State. Schottenstein Center was open up. We made pizzas. We worked booths. We worked a KISS concert one time. And I told the kids I got a surprise for them. At the end of the pizza making, we're going to go up into the third deck and we're going to watch the end of the KISS concert. Then I told them we're going to clean up the lower bowl. Now we made $7,000 picking up, unfortunately I'll say this, puke, marijuana, this, that, and everything else. It was 2:30 in the morning and we were at a restaurant eating breakfast and Father's looking at me like, Frank, don't go over that again. I said, well, I got 2 more scheduled. So we get to 2001. I'm the president of the Diamond Club for the junior and senior year. I have the superintendent next to me, Mr. Forrest Yoke, and Mike Smith, the principal and the baseball staff. First words out of my mouth. I'm looking at a lot of people. First thing that ever happened to Frank Avalone was call waiting. I know each and every one of you would see my number come across and say, Frank Avalone, you tell anybody in the house, don't answer the damn phone. He wants your time or he wants your money. Well, I asked you for time and I asked you for money, and I thank all of you. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. You have moved someone to come up.
I've already told a couple of people tonight since I've been here. As they indicated, I got the photographs for everybody. While I was at Walgreens on State Street, a young lady come out in that department. I asked her, can you duplicate these photographs of this team picture and do front and back? And she was indicating to me, well, no, I can't. So she laid the photograph down in front of her on the counter and she looked at it. She looks up at me and goes, do you know Jim DeRocha? I go, yes, that's him in the picture here. He was the manager coach of the 71 team here I played for. She goes, oh, yeah, I know him. I'm his granddaughter. Aww. What? So I left that store thinking, what are the chances in that? And she looks just like her mother, her grandmother, Ingrid Evans. Same long ponytail braided down the back, and spitting image of her grandmother. But I thought that I had to relate that to you. I thought it was quite interesting.
John Morja came up to me a few minutes ago, and said, listen, Scott Gray is here. Do you want him to say a couple of words? And I go, I don't know, John, you need flowers? No, just give Scott your address, he'll send them to you. Give him okay. He wants to know if you would like to say a word or two. I tell you what, you stay right there. I will walk over to you, sir. By the way, 727 Gotham Street.
I know exactly where you live, and I know exactly where your wife works. So I just want to say thank you for the memories. So I was a young kid growing up in Carthage with all of these hoodlums over here. They're a story for another day, but if you got time, we'll have one later. So Dave Tremblay, Frank, they were all Carthage Athletics, right, back then. And then Watertown Royals. So, as Frank said, as Dave said, I lived one block over. I used to idolize Dave. I used to watch every game. I used to always go up to the ball diamond and watch him play, watch Frank play. And it was remarkable, the stories. And then I'll just tell one Charlie McCarter story because I was a bartender in Carthage. And I've never seen Charlie leave a bar that soon in my life. Only if I could go back to the days. And you never, trust me, you all know Charlie, and you were never going to try to get him out of the bar. So you just sat there as long as he wanted to sit there. So it was great. I appreciate everything that you've done for our communities throughout the years, throughout your playing time, and truly, thank you for the memories. God bless.
Already, Frank mentioned about 25 minutes ago that we had a half hour. Does anybody want to say something? So at this point, we got about 5 minutes left. Anybody want to come up and say anything? Guys, this is your opportunity. Somebody put something in your jock strap or something. Now is the time to share it. Anybody whatsoever. The second best looking Rigabar brother, would you like to say anything? Oh!
First year we played in New Haven, or Fairhaven. Which one was it? Fairhaven. And Tony Duval was pitching, lanky Sam. He was like 6'6", and he could throw the ball 100 miles an hour. Well, he threw some. He hit that guy in the head at home plate, and they took him to the hospital. That's the end of the story.
Well, at least they had a happy ending. It's always nice to leave on an up note. Wow. Thanks for sharing that with us. I remember the night, I remember one of the games I was at, and I think it was a night game. Do you guys play night games during the week, like Wednesday night games? I remember seeing Tony Dumar showing up one night, and I had heard about him, and now he's going to be playing ball in the area. And I don't know if it was a Royals game or some other game, but he had a Red Sox jacket on. And I go, wow. He's playing professional ball in the Red Sox organization, and you see the Sox there on the, it was made me sick. I hate Boston. Well, I wanted to be as nice a story as yours. Anybody else? Anybody have anything else? I'll even bring the microphone to you. Bill, you want to say anything? Jerry Gardner. Jerry? Jerry, I have built you up tonight. I said you are the best third baseman. Now this was during the time of Brooks Robinson too. You were the best third baseman I ever saw. What's that?
Should have pulled Tremblay.
Oh, I think Tremblay. He said you were by the way, he said you were the fastest guy on the team. Is that true?
Second to Charlie McCarter.
Charlie McCarter was faster?
Oh, yeah.
Was he really?
there was a fight, baby, he's gone.
I interviewed Charlie, okay, out there, and he seemed like the nicest, sweetest guy. He gave me a great interview. He was tremendous. And then I hear these different stories. Can he be the same person?
Try some Jenny Cream Ale and see what he talks about.
All right, I'll have to.
That's his favorite wine.
His favorite wine is Jenny Cream Ale.
Yes.
Very good. He looks at the can and goes, "Oh, nice month." Is that how he can tell? Oh my goodness. Oh. Guy, any more death or destruction stories you want to tell us? Maybe tomorrow. Anybody else? Anybody else wanna? Huh? Yes. There you go. Alrighty, Bruce, go for it.
Charlie was in the wheel, what do they call it, wheel?
Fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel. I remember going there, and Charlie was sitting at the bar, and I think some of the guys were playing pool or something at that time, but Charlie's eyes would just turn to like bird's eyes when he got a little too much.
Really?
Yeah, but he was a good, great football, or not football, baseball, but I could appreciate that.
Very nice. This is, we're actually getting pretty good stuff for our money tonight because it's not only a Royals reunion, it's a Charlie McCarter roast. So this is working out. This is really working out good. This is Bobby. Who knew Bobby? Bobby, you want to say a couple of words?
Yeah, come on, I got another Charlie.
Wait a second. All right, wait a second. Is it okay if your nephew, cousin says something? All right, good. All right.
It's funny about all these stories. I wish Charlie was still here. All these stories about Jazz, but I have to tell you, they were true. And here's my story with him. There was a bar, surprising, we were in a bar, out Arsenal Street. And a lot of the guys on the team were there, and he says to me, "Bobby, come here." I says, "Charlie, what's up?" He says, "Come here." He says, "See that guy over there?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "I want you to do something. Go over there, start a fight with a guy, and then get the hell out because I wanted to beat his ass for years."
By the way, in a way, and Charlie, I'm talking to you right now on the camera. In a way, I hope you don't have internet. Because if you do, you'll hear all these stories that are being told about you tonight. Poor guy. You know what? And chances are he would have cleaned out half the room just to make a point. Father, do you have any Charlie McCarter stories you want? Any confessions you want to talk about during the course of, this is a good time. Anything that piqued your interest about some guy playing for the Royals that beat up a whole house one night? No? All right, just checking. Oh. You got one more? All right, sir.
All right, John just reminded me that I made a promise to this guy. His name is Chris Denhart. You don't know who the hell he is. He happens to be the CEO of Dugout Mugs. So a few years back, 10, 12, whatever, I see this thing and it says Dugout Mugs. I do a little history, looking back. A guy named Randall Thompson is in the dugout playing the last game of his collegiate career. 9th inning. He says to himself, "I got a degree. What the hell am I going to do with it now?" The vision of creating baseball bats came to him. Hollow it out, turn it into something you can drink out of. Okay, I see it, and of course I think this is a great idea. I got grandkids, I got friends. You get my birthday list, you get something like this. Some guys get shot glasses, some guys get baseball bats, some guys get can openers, some guys get the same thing over there, So I started handing them out as gifts. My grandkids got them, my wife's got them, they even make them in aluminum bats. So John and I were fishing around for an idea to make this special. The team that time forgot, gentlemen, ladies, there's only 50 of these ever. 50. So I bring what I've got from Ohio, show John. John says, we gotta make this happen. Okay, so what does Frank do? Makes a phone call. I don't call once, I don't call twice, I probably called 10 times. I sent an email. I talked to voice recordings. I said, hey, I'm the longest standing customer in Dugout Mugs. Look it up, Avallone, I live in Ohio. Silence, nothing. So finally, I literally got torqued off. I start scrolling. Go to the bottom of all that internet crap. I find the CEO. I call him. Introduce myself. Frank Avalone, Watertown Royals. I'm putting together a baseball reunion from 50 years ago. And I like pricing on what you have. He said, okay, Frank, what are you interested in? I said, can you give me a special price on the big bat? A little high. He says, okay, let me work on something. He calls me back. He said, I got a special order for you. This thing is called the shortstop mug. You can go to Dugout Mugs and look at all the wares. He says, I've got a shortstop mug that came in. This is Tremblay, you listening to this? Because this particular model is supposed to be 9 ounces. Came in wrong, came in 6 ounces. Sound like the bowling ball story? They got drilled wrong. He says to me, Frank, I'll make you a deal. I said, okay, what's the deal? I'll give you XYZ price. I said, how many can I order? He says, how many do you need? I gave him a 5 and the O. He said, where am I sending them? Gave him the address. Here they are tonight. If you are ever looking for a neat baseball gift, go to Dugout Mug. Now, if you watch Fox News last Sunday, he was on, he had like 2.5 minutes, but he had the wares right there in front at Fox News. I saw it, sent him a text message, called him. I said, hey, Chris, I saw you on TV. You talked pretty fast. He said, Frank, I had to. I promised him pictures of us with the Dugout Mugs. Now, hopefully everybody had them when we took the picture in the hand. So if anybody out there has the picture, you got to send it to me because I owe him. Team that time forgot is now going to advertise reunions for the Dugout Mug. And that young gentleman over there, I didn't get his name though.
I think his name is Josh.
Josh. Josh has got us connected to the forever, ever and ever. Can you tell us what's going to happen with that? Is it going to be YouTube, or is it going to go into the Smithsonian, or where's it going?
All of the above.
Okay, so now, I'm not technically smart. I'll pass you this mic. You tell everybody how they can access it, because I'll have a headache trying to send it out to everybody.
Ask Mr. Bustler.
Pass it to Mel?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mel, you can take the floor and tell them how they're going to get it.
All right, and the plan of attack is I'm going to put it on a DVD. I'm going to run it at home, and everybody's invited to come over and watch it. And if that doesn't work out good, then...
What's for supper?
What's for supper? I'm not sure. We'll see what's left over here at the Italian American Club. No, actually, the plan is I've done this with trips that I have hosted where I put it on YouTube, central location. We give you a link. Folks can go on to YouTube and look up something like that. That's what I'm going to do with this. We're going to put it on YouTube. Anytime you want to watch it, you can just dig it up on YouTube and watch it. It's as easy as that. Watertown Royals reunion. Yep, that'll be it. And Josh, you've done a tremendous job today.
You shot everything tonight, including John Morgia talking bad of Frank Avalone. I think that was tremendous, and I don't know how you got that. Anybody else have anything they want to say? No? No, what about you? A final word. Do you want to be a gentleman and say, hey, everybody who comes to the bakery on Monday can get a free loaf of bread? Do you want to do that?
You show your face Monday. Come to me, I'll give you a free loaf of bread.
You gotta be there.
Look how you old I want to, as a bat boy that 71 season, number one, yeah, 13 years old, Charlie McCarter scared the shit out of me. Never one near him. Frank, this I know, I think we all know, Frank Avalone was probably one of the best looking guys in a baseball uniform. And we know that, right?
Yes.
And then later on, I used to deliver bread to his house, to his mother, his beautiful mother.
Yankee fan.
And I think she got all her good looks from Frank.
You mean Frank got all his good looks from? No. I see how you got it. All righty. So Brent. So if they show up, say, hey, we were at the reunion. Mel said we could get bread. Okay. And by the way, I don't think this is working. They can't hear us in the bar room. If anybody shows up at Gray's Flower Shop Monday and said you were at the reunion Saturday night, and went to Alterri's and got your bread, Scott will give you free flowers. I think anybody else got a business here? Yes, John.
Stop at my business, they could, it's Monday, they give us a pasta and sauce.
You would give away pasta and sauce?
Oh, yeah.
I got a lot of driving to do that.
Unlike these other two guys I was talking about, you're a legitimate businessman. You sure you want to?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Bread, flowers, pasta, and sauce.
We need a liquor store. Who wants a liquor store?
I need a liquor store. You gotta go to Arkansas. Alrighty, well, if nobody else has anything that they want to say, folks, this has been a pleasure for me as a kid growing up to watch you guys perform. And then to see you out there playing pepper and catch, it brought back a lot of memories for me, let me tell you. That's it. Thank you very much. Is that it, Frank? Are we done? Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Take care.